Now we can take a look at how we can build the missing geometry, bifold doors, the door, and also the window. We will do this very simplified. Again, for what we try to do is we want to build an environment where we can put an object in. We don't necessarily want the environment to be the main focus. So we want to strike a balance between level of detail and not looking too empty and not looking, yeah, kind of like distracting from our main object. Okay, so how do we do the door? And it's actually pretty easy. Maybe before we continue, yeah, here the trim, this is all done. We could call this actually trim door if we want to. And then this is actually trim bifold door, and I realize what I'm doing now, that should actually be part of the previous video. There, and then we call this one here trim window. But this stuff really helps you always to organize stuff. Good. Now we can hide this and go to here. Put it to there. Very good. Shift A, make. Yeah, how do we do the door? Yeah, let's do it this way. Plain. That's going to be interesting. We go back to imperial feet. Very good. So this, what's the distance actually? Let's measure this. From there to there. So 2 feet 6 inches. Select this. This is X. So 2 feet 6 inches. Very good. And the door thickness 2 inches. There we are. Now, what do we do with this one? First, we can move this one up and G and vertex snap to there. Bring this in a little bit, bring this back, vertex snap, so it's right there. So now we have a flat surface. And to give myself a little bit of freedom in how I would like to design my door, I will now say, well, 80 inches for the extrusion, now solidify, and then it's right scratching over my hardwood floor. Okay, well, what about 78 inches? I have a little gap, that's maybe too much. 79 inches. Yeah, okay, this looks fine. There is also, because this is perfectly flush in there, there is a gap, so the door can even rotate. So our details here are too machined, but this is okay for what we do right now. To make the door, however, look a tick nicer, what we can do is, since we don't really have super sharp edges, add a bevel modifier. But this object got scaled here, no? So let's do apply scale first, there, and then maybe 1 millimeter we break the edges there, and there we can see we get this nice highlight. Maybe 10. Yeah, good. Okay, now it was pretty easy. How can we do the bifold door here? So there, maybe instead of going this approach, we actually really work first with a cube. So Z, we just go by 8. 79. And then Y, we do 2 inches and RZ and 90. Very good. Okay. Now, when I want to change the height, you see how this actually goes from there to there. So what I will do is I can select my top face here, Shift S, cursor to the selected, in object mode, right click and do this. go to there, snap this up, bring this over, bring this to there. Okay, so how do I now figure out how to model 4 doors that fit perfectly in there? Yeah, now how do we do this? It's actually easy. I simply select this, bring this over, there we are. Now we filled it. Control R. There are my 4 doors. Left click and escape. And all I need to do now is AA, select all the stuff I don't need, X and delete. And now I'm filling this piece back in. F. A, and make sure that everything also looks to the outside. Yeah. So there's now one bifold door. I could, via an array, add multiple to it, but bifold doors, they open differently, so we don't really do this with an array. And let's actually hide our space. Let's go to here and go to edit mode. There, Shift S, cursor to the selected. So there you see that this cursor was put right at the center. Let's zoom actually to our selection. Go to top view. So you can see what we are doing here. Edge length. Huh? Oh, length. Oh, come on. Yeah. So 2 inches. The way how bifold doors work, they have a hinge, but this is actually not right at 2 inches in. It's actually a little bit further in. So let's go to view, and you see here's my 3D cursor. This is the Y direction. So I would like my 3D cursor not to have any of these crazy rotations. You see how I'm fixing the rotation. This is just only a visual thing. And here now, so there's my inches. When I say this is 6, okay, it went to the right side. Good. So maybe 7. Now, so this is 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. So this is more centered. Maybe half an inch further. So, whoops. Remove half an inch. There. Very good. So at this position now, I, in object mode, would like to put my 3D cursor. And then you will see how it rotates kind of like that way. Just for those who are interested in bifold doors, they function that way. Very good. Now, Alt D and escape, bring this over, bring this to there. And then we can select these two, Alt D and escape, RZ 180, bring this over, G and Y, bring this back, suck. Alt D and escape, bring this over, because everything is symmetrical. You see they all perfectly fit in there. Now we can select all those. Alt bevel. No, I did not an alt bevel. Oh, I made a huge mistake. Shoot. Beginner mistake. We scaled this object and we failed to do a reset of the scale. So I have to do this one more time. X delete here. Apply the scale, because when we make clones, we cannot apply the scale after we made a clone. Okay, so, but you saw this is not too complicated. Alt D and escape are Z 180, and then we can even snap this together. There, select both. Alt D there, select all 4, Alt D along Y, move this over there. So, and then the kind of cool thing is, so let's say this one here, I rotate by 80, maybe 80 degrees. So this is 90. So let's say minus 60. Okay, then I have this one, which I rotate then by 60. And I bring this to there. And then here are 60, this one are minus 60, and G and Y and snap. And there, suck. There they are together. Now you see actually how very easily it is to pose, for example, these bifold doors. We will keep them closed, so let's undo this stuff. There are even ways, just to give you a little bit of an idea, where are the constraints? Okay, so you copy a rotation of this object. Oh yeah, I rotated them, so... But here, hold on, so you see how when I rotate this object, the other one moves with it. Why is this actually rotated? You see these objects I made and then rotated them into the position. So obviously it instantly copies the rotation. So I would have to make this an individual no rotation, this no rotation, now you see. And then actually, if I would open them, they all would do this automatically. Let me do this just for an exercise. So here I hide all those, so you see kind of like what I'm doing. Shift D, I make a copy, bring this over, bring this back. Shift D, RZ 180 to there, and then these two, Control A, apply rotation. So you see there's no rotation. Okay, rotate there, RZ. Oh wait. Okay. So right, I think it has to be inverted Z. Yeah. Wait, who has? Yeah, there. You see, kind of cool. We will go into this more when we do actually animation in Blender, which is where this program is really good at. So all our doors are kind of done. There, new collage. Can put all this to there. We can call this door window. And oh yeah, well, our window. Let's do this very quickly. Shift A, we make a plane, RX and 90. G, control. So I'm snapping to it. Select all these points over, select these points and over. Very good. We have no scale factor. That's good. So AI and how much do we go in? 3 inches. This Control R here, and then Control B. We make a fillet or bevel, sorry, 1 inch. Control R and Control B and 1 inch. There we are. So hold on. How much is this actually? Oh, this is actually 3 inches. Wow, wow. Oh, cool. Now we can keep it. This is like the outer frame. This is the inner frame. Perfect. And then zack, 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 zack. P to separate it. Now this is our window. Origin to geometry. Give this a material thickness. There we could say 2 inches. This is our glass. Origin to geometry. We could give this a thickness. I simply will move this in a little bit because we're not going to render architectural glass, and then we can move this in a little bit by 1 inch there. Okay. Then there. And maybe here, this window stuff for the moment, we call this window glass. And this is window frame. The frame we will give also a little bevel modifier, 1 millimeter, only on the hard edges. Okay. So you see all these hard edges are slightly rounded. That makes it look a little bit better. And the glass, maybe we don't want to see right now. We can move this out. But yeah, so there we have a very quick model of an architectural space. Then we can put some like door handles or knobs onto it. We might do this at a later point. There's basically the doorknobs could be very simple revolve objects, and the door handle, yeah, we will do like a nice, they call it European design stuff. I'm always laughing about it. It's like every time when I see here in America European designs like cylinders, as that's all we can do. Or as cylinders always the most sophisticated designs. It's quite hilarious. Anyway, done with this video.